Hello and welcome to another maths lesson. Today we're going to be looking at number lines, looking at how we can use them in problems and how we can use them in our calculations. We're also going to be focusing on counting in twos, fives and tens. So let's do a flashback 4 and then we'll get started.
Okay, here's today's flashback 4. Click pause here, have a go and click play when you're done. Let's talk about the answers to these questions then. Question 1, divide 12 by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Question 2, one triangle has 3 sides. How many sides do 5 triangles have? So the calculation you needed to do here was 3 times 5, and the answer is 15. So 5 triangles have 15 sides altogether. Next, use the less than, greater than, or equal symbol to compare these two multiplications. And 3 times 2 and 2 times 3 are the same. They both equal 6. So we needed our equal sign there. And question 4, calculate 75, take away 10. So 75 subtract 10 is 65. Okay, let's have a look at the main learning for today. So today we're looking at number lines and we're thinking about counting in twos, fives and tens. Let's have a reminder about using number lines and have a look at some examples before you have a go. So first let's just talk about counting in twos, fives and tens. So here we've got a number line showing counting in twos, and I really like this representation because you can see that counting in twos is just like missing out a number. So you can see here that the small numbers are like the numbers that we're missing out, and the numbers in red are the numbers that we're counting. So let's just do this. Let's count up from 0 to 20 in twos. Say it with me. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And back down, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. Fantastic. And notice that we've got pairs of socks here as well as we're counting in twos. Right, let's think about fives then. So this is a number line counting up in fives. And you can see that when we're counting in fives, there's a pattern, isn't there? The ones digit in each number changes from a 0 to a 5 and back to a 0 again as we go through and make 10 and then 5 more. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and all the way up to 100. And you can see that, look, we have a number ending in a 5 and then a 0 and then a 5 and then a 0. It's an easy pattern to spot. Right, let's remind ourselves about counting in tens. So the simplest way of counting in tens that we've looked at is just starting on 0 and counting in 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and so on. But sometimes as well we want to count in tens not starting on 0 or not starting on 10. So here we're starting on the number 4 and we're counting at 4, 14, 24, 34, 44 and so on. What do you notice about the numbers in this second number line down here? They all end with 4. The ones digit is not changing. Because we're just counting in tens, only the tens digit is changing. So it's going from 1 10 to 2 tens to 3 tens to 4 tens and so on. So those are the patterns for counting in twos, fives and tens. Let's have a look at some examples of how you can use number lines and counting in twos, fives and tens to help you solve some problems. This first problem. Jade starts with £10. She saves £2 every week for 7 weeks. How much does she have altogether after 7 weeks? So we need to add £2 every week for 7 weeks. A number line is a really helpful representation to help us see what's happening here and help us keep track of what we've added. So let's draw out a number line. We're going to start on £10 and we need to hop forward by £2 for 7 weeks, so 7 times. So let's do it. We've got the first week, so that's 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So let's just check that we've hopped 7 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Fantastic. So at the end of 7 weeks, she's going to have £24. So you can see here that by counting in twos on a number line, we kept track of what was going on in the problem and we were able to solve it really easily. Let's look at another example. Here we've just got a straightforward calculation. Now we've talked about lots of strategies you can use for calculations, and number lines is just one of the strategies you could use. You could draw other representations such as a bar model, a part whole model, or you could use your number bonds to 10. Also, you could do this as a column addition, or you could draw anything else to help you. But let's just think about a number line as another method you could use. So we're going to start on 58 because that's our biggest number. And remember, in an addition calculation, it doesn't matter which way round the numbers are added together. So we're going to start on 58. Now, I'm not going to add 37 in one go. I'm actually going to partition the number 37 into some different bits. So I'm going to partition it into 30, which is 3 tens, and then I'm going to partition 7 into a 2 and a 5. And you'll see why I've done that in a moment. So let's add those 3 tens. 10, 20, 30. And that's taken us up to 68, 78, 88. So we've added the 30. Now I know that if I add 2 more, that will get me up to the next 10, which is 90. So I've added 2 more there. And you can see that now I've added part of my 7, I've added 2. And now all I need to do is add 5 more. So there we go, I'm on 95. So by using a number line and breaking up the number 37, I've been able to add it in stages and get to my final answer. And this is a really effective tool for calculating things. It's really simple and it's quite hard to go wrong. So long as you work through step by step and check that you're adding the right amount, then actually it's a really straightforward tool to use and a really effective tool to use for addition calculations and for subtraction ones too. Okay, so James is putting away some clothes. He puts away 6 shirts, 3 trousers and 5 pairs of socks. How many pieces of clothing did James put away? And remember that a pair is 2 items. Okay, let's draw a number line. This is actually quite a straightforward calculation, but by doing it step by step on a number line, again, we don't lose track of where we are and we can work through this problem step at a time. So we're going to start on 6 because that's 6 shirts that he puts away first. Then add 3 trousers, that takes us to 9, and 5 pairs of socks. So remember, each pair is 2 items. So we're going to count 5 lots of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can count up then in twos from 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. So altogether, James put away 19 pieces of clothing. Time for you to have a go then. So in question 1, you're just filling in some number lines with some different ways of counting. So it would be helpful for you to have a ruler if you want to draw a number line, but you could draw them just as numbers like this. The idea here is that you are drawing the sequence of numbers. You don't need to worry so much about drawing a perfect number line. So have a go at those, click pause here and click play when you're done. Okay, let's talk about these sequences then. So you started off with part A, which was counting up in twos. So we had 34, 36, 38. Part B, you were counting backwards in fives. So the next number was 35, 30, and 25. Part C, again, you were counting backwards in fives. So we had 75, 65, 55, 45, 35, 25. And part D, we were counting backwards in twos. So we had 90, 88, 86, 84, 82, and 80. Okay, let's have a look at question 2. So again, question 2 today has got some calculations for you. We've got 5 over here and 3 slightly harder ones. Now, you can obviously use any strategy you want to answer these, but as we're doing number lines today, I would encourage you to try and draw a number line for each question, just so that you can practice the skill of number lines, even if number lines are not how you would usually do these calculations. So have a go at these, draw yourself some number lines for each one, click pause and click play when you're done. Okay, let's talk about each of these questions then. So part A, the answer was 81. Part B, the answer was 47. Part C, the answer was 20. You could have also thought about this as 4 times 5. 14 times 2 was 28, and 94 take away 57, 37. Right, let's have a look at these over here. For part F, 73 take away 38 is 35. 24 adds something equals 65, and that something is 41. And 70 adds 60 was 130. Okay, well done on those. If there were any that you didn't get quite right, go back and check your answers. See if you can find where you went wrong and correct your answer. Time for today's challenge. Ron is counting in twos from 0. The first part is then to complete the number track to show the numbers Ron will say. So starting on 0, counting up in twos. Kim is counting in threes from 0. So same thing again, start on 0, write in the numbers that Kim will say. Now Whitney is adding Ron and Kim's numbers together. So she's adding the boxes like this. The first number she's adding together, the second number she's adding together, and she's writing her answers in a sequence as well. So complete the number track to show the numbers Whitney will say. And then finally, what do you notice about Whitney's number pattern? So fill in Ron's, fill in Kim's, and then add the first two numbers together and write them in Whitney's. The second two, write them in Whitney's, and so on until you've finished Whitney's. And then have a look at Whitney's pattern and see what you notice. Click pause here and have a go. Right, let's talk about these then. We'll do Ron's first. This is nice and straightforward. We're starting on 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, let's do Kim's next. Again, starting on 0, and then this time we're going up in threes. Now, we hadn't practiced this, but hopefully you could have worked this one out. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, now it's time to fill in Whitney's. Remember, we're adding Ron and Kim's together for each one. So 0 add 0 still gives us 0. 2 add 3 is 5. 4 add 6 is 10. 6 add 9, 15. 8 add 12, 20. And 10 and 15, 25. Let's have a look at this pattern here then. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. What do we notice about Whitney's number pattern? Well, Whitney's number pattern goes up in fives. Now, well done if you spotted that. But there was something else you could have thought about as well. If you really thought about this, you could have noticed that Ron is in twos, Kim is in threes, and 2 add 3 equals 5. So because all together Ron and Kim are going up by 2 and then going up by 3, overall Whitney's is going up by 5s. So well done for spotting that it went up in 5s, and well done if you noticed that that was because Ron was 2 and Kim was 3. Okay, well done on all your work today with number lines. We'll finish things there.
Well done on finishing another lesson. I hope you enjoyed that one. Join me tomorrow for your final maths lesson in year 2. See you then.